It's great to be here. I mean, about 10 days ago, I was in Sweden, and we had a fun project. We brought the entire Brooklyn Brewing team over to Sweden, and I sent over 140 bourbon barrels from the Heaven Hill Distillery, Logic Craig 12-year-old barrels, and we barreled the 175th anniversary of Carnegie Porter. Spent an entire day doing it. And I went on from there to Helsinki and Oslo. And what I can tell you, having traveled, had the opportunity to travel over, these many years. I've been brewing now for 22 years. And I've known Phil that entire time. Because I remember Phil actually being the celebrity judge at our home brewing contest. Back in 1988 or sometime in the late 19th century. We were all together at Brewski's on East 7th Street. And now to go around the world and see that American brewing garners the sort of respect that it does today. When I first started brewing, when I first started traveling, you go to other countries and you tell them you were an American brewer, and the disdain was palpable. Oh yes, I've heard of your American beer. And we've heard of your American food. And what's wonderful now is to see American brewing as the vanguard, of a worldwide craft beer movement. And you see the influence in Brazil, you see it in Japan, you see it in Finland, you see it in Norway, you see it everywhere, that you go. And everywhere that I go, I just sort of remind people that, what we're doing. I mean, yeah, I like to think that we both do creative things, but we're also bringing back a lot of stuff that people forgot, things that were wonderful in the past. The United States once had 4,000 breweries. We had the most interesting beer culture in the world in the first place. We had the most interesting food culture in the world in the first place. Because we're a nation of immigrants, we brought everybody's stuff with us. If you were in Germany, you only got German beer. If you were in Belgium, you got Belgian beer, and it still remains that way by and large. But, the United States now has the most vibrant beer culture in the world. We certainly look up to a lot of beer cultures in many ways, and, we still think of them as inspirations for a lot of things. But it's nice at least to have it be a two-way street, where it used to be very much a one-way street. As for Brooklyn Brewery, I certainly want to thank you guys for your support. I tend to think of us as a brewery going backwards in time in a certain way, and as we've had the wonderful opportunity to grow and do new things, I think we've become a much more artisanal brewery over time. And in that way, I see us going backwards. I see us diving deeper and deeper into the things that we do. And so I think it says to me that there's more than one way to do this. If you're going to get larger, which I think is a good thing, then you should use that to do stuff that's more exciting and more interesting, not less exciting and less interesting. And so as brewmaster, that's kind of part of my, my outlook on things and my way of doing things. I mean, sometimes people look at us and they'll say, well, now you're the big guys. And I remind them that Sam Adams is about 30 times our size, and then AB InBev is 200 times their size. So it gives you some idea of the scale that we're talking about. And, we just had an opportunity to knock through a wall and build into another 18,000 square feet. And we're going to use that opportunity to bring you guys a lot of fun stuff. It was nice to be able to bring one of the 4 cases left of the Cuvée Crochet Rouge out here. Now, what you might not know is that that's bringing some Long Island back to Long Island, because the Crochet Rouge means Red Hook. It's the Red Hook Winery, but Red Hook Winery grows its grapes on Long Island, vinifies in Brooklyn. It's all natural yeast, no cultured yeast that they're using to make those wines. So, you know, in that beer, you have an expression of Long Island terroir in a certain way. You know, I know that Phil's been probably among American brewers, period, you know, a pioneer in bringing some wine background into beers. You know, we're doing it in a different way. You know, and now we're branching off into other fun stuff. I'll be in Italy in a couple of weeks, and we're actually developing a whole new line of beers over there that'll make its way back to the United States. You know, there are a lot of fun projects going on there and other places, but you know, I just want you guys to know that you know, if you're a New Yorker and you're feeling it, you go around the world these days. The word Brooklyn is a very fine word.
Yeah.
You know, and we like it. We're at least a small part, you know, of why that is. So it's great to be out here. You know, all I can say is that in the old days, in the late 19th century, you know, I used to run my German short-haired pointers at Long Island in places where there are now office parks. I hunted with dogs and shotguns. That's how fucking old I am.